Think about a moment in your life. Everything outside is as you know it. The sky is blue, the world is silent, and the sun rises from the same place every morning. But deep in space, an event is unfolding so extraordinary that NASA's crisis rooms are mobilized on an emergency footing. The data cannot be processed by any supercomputer on Earth, and scientists are forced to admit, we can't explain this. Now ask yourself, if the comforting fairy tale we've been told for years, that the universe is orderly and everything is under control, collapses, what would humanity truly be facing? Voyager 2 crossed such a boundary at the edge of the solar system that for the first time in human history, the question, are we alone in space, ceased to have an answer, giving rise to entirely new questions. What are we really in? Is the universe a much larger playground than we imagined? I invite you to a discovery you've never heard of before, one that has turned the scientific world upside down and could change the course of all human history. This is not a documentary, nor is it a science lesson. Today, a real crisis unfolding at the farthest reaches of space has left even the world's largest space agency helpless. The signals sent by Voyager 2 to Earth have shattered the walls of classical physics, forcing scientists to burn all their books and start over from scratch. Know this: every detail I am about to share is so significant that it will challenge not only NASA's existence, but also the very existence, past and future, of all humanity. Are you ready? Because after watching this video, your perception of the universe will never be the same again. In each episode, we will journey to the darkest corners of science, beyond the limits of the human mind, and to the place where reality begins to be questioned. Now sit back in your chair, because beyond Voyager 2, in the darkness of space, the questions that humanity has been unable to answer begin. Nothing is as you know it. By the way, if you like my video and subscribe, that's the most effective way to support me. 1. Voyager 2 entered a region where the solar wind suddenly stopped. Voyager 2's arrival at the point where the solar wind stopped means that we are faced with one of the greatest mysteries that classical space physics has yet to solve. Imagine this: the solar wind, which has been blowing non-stop for billions of kilometers, suddenly disappears. Theoretically, we would expect this wind to gradually weaken and fade into the intergalactic void. But Voyager 2 reported that at a certain boundary point, the wind abruptly ceased, as if it had hit an invisible wall. This shows us that the universe is not as gradual and smooth as we thought. Sometimes there are sharp boundaries like 0 or 1. At this point, a wave of panic began at NASA, because this discovery proved that the boundary surrounding the solar system is not just an imaginary line, but a physical reality with a completely different structure. Until now, no one expected the solar wind to suddenly stop. It has become clear that in space, two different environments, the sun's domain and the intergalactic void, are separated in a very sharp and incomprehensible way. This brings with it entirely new safety, data, and energy challenges for space travel, including future interstellar spacecraft. The real critical point here is that the mechanism behind this sudden cutoff remains unresolved. Is it just a gas or magnetic barrier? Or is there some entirely different force at play beyond the physics we know? Voyager 2's data is so peculiar that there is no single model to explain it. Scientists think it could be caused by a combination of galactic magnetic fields, plasma densities, and who knows what other cosmic effects. But the truth is, we still don't know what's going on out there. And the most intriguing part is that no one knows if this sharp boundary exists in other star systems. If this is a universal rule, it could be the greatest trap that other life forms or star travelers in the universe will encounter. Voyager 2's observation has the potential to rewrite not only the map of our system, but the entire galaxy. Perhaps we are not as isolated as we thought, and what we call the boundary is actually a cosmic trap. 2. The spacecraft detected a heliosheath layer that is much thicker than expected. The data sent by Voyager 2 while measuring the heliosheath layer at the edge of the solar system caused a sensation in NASA and the international scientific community. This is because all theoretical calculations made over the years had assumed that this layer would be much thinner and simpler. However, the measurements revealed that the heliosheath is at least twice as wide and complex as previously thought. In other words, the edge of space is much more crowded and complex than we imagined. Why is this so important? Because this layer serves as both a natural shield protecting the solar system from external threats and our direct point of contact with intergalactic matter. If it is thicker than we thought, this suggests that we need to rethink everything related to the safety of interplanetary radiation, cosmic rays, and space travel. Voyager 2's discovery suggests that what humanity thought was a safe zone in space may actually be a kind of dynamic battlefield. Moreover, such a thick boundary could also mean that effects from outside the solar system are being filtered out. Perhaps some high-energy particles or galactic radiation are largely absorbed or deflected in this region. As a result, Earth and other planets are not defenseless against the most dangerous attacks from space, but the structure of this shield can change at any moment, and the risks never end. Finally, this discovery reinforces the idea that star systems in other corners of space may also have their own unique, perhaps even more bizarre boundary layers. Scientists now believe that navigating the universe without understanding each star and planet's protective bubble and its dynamics could be dangerous. The thick boundary discovered by Voyager 2 has been recorded as one of the first real cosmic obstacles that humanity will encounter in its space adventure. 3. The slowing of the signals indicated an encounter with an unexpected substance in space. The sudden slowdown in signals from Voyager 2 to Earth was initially perceived as a technical problem, but in-depth investigations showed that this was not the case. Under normal conditions, radio signals travel at certain speeds in space, and this speed only decreases when they interact with known substances such as plasma. However, what happened here was an abrupt deceleration that cannot be explained by classical models. In other words, Voyager 2 may have encountered an invisible barrier or an unknown environment. This has led scientists to consider the possibility of the existence of a type of matter or energy in space that has never been detected before. Perhaps this is a type of cosmic barrier that is much more widespread in the universe than we thought, but has never been measured before. If this barrier can slow down light, radio waves, or any other form of energy, it may be necessary to completely redesign our communication technologies and all our space travel plans. Furthermore, this abnormal slowing of signals suggests that invisible and mysterious dynamics are at work even in the empty parts of space we thought we knew. This could make interplanetary communication, data transmission, and perhaps even interstellar travel much more complex and dangerous. Until now, we have based all our models on the concept of space vacuum, yet Voyager 2's discovery reveals that space is never truly empty, but rather a constantly changing arena filled with unknown substances. All these findings are having a profound impact not only on the scientific community, but also on everyone working in space engineering and communication. Perhaps from now on, every new spacecraft will have to be specially designed to account for these invisible barriers. The momentary slowing down in Voyager 2's signal is a powerful warning that challenges humanity's arrogant assumptions about the universe. 4. Unexplained frequency changes in plasma waves were recorded. As Voyager 2 approached the edge of the solar system, It began to record strange and unmodelable changes in the frequencies of plasma waves. Normally, the behavior of plasma waves is predictable based on the magnetic fields in space and the particle density in the environment. However, the data obtained by Voyager 2 revealed that all known rules in this region have been overturned and that an unexplained frequency chaos is taking place. This means that in space, especially when approaching the edge of the solar system, there is interaction between different dimensions and perhaps unknown types of energy beyond the laws of physics as we know them. If plasma wave frequencies can change so randomly, there may be a new law of nature at work here that does not exist anywhere else. This has led scientists to consider that even the rules we thought were fundamental to the universe may not be absolute. Additionally, these unexplained changes may indicate the presence of an entirely different energy source or an unknown cosmic event in the region where Voyager 2 passed through. The chaotic changes in plasma waves are even being debated as potentially related to other forms of life in space or influences from different dimensions. From a scientific perspective, this discovery is the greatest evidence that space is still filled with unsolved mysteries. Ultimately, these unexpected fluctuations in plasma waves signal the beginning of a new era of discovery at the edge of space. Any spacecraft venturing beyond the solar system must now be prepared to encounter such unknown energy interactions. Voyager 2's experience here proved that space is not static and understandable, but rather that chaos and the unknown reign supreme. 5. Voyager 2 passed through a point where the magnetic field changed direction. Voyager 2 reported that the magnetic field suddenly changed direction as it traveled at the edge of the solar system. This is a strange situation, similar to a compass on Earth suddenly pointing south after pointing north. Normally, magnetic fields in space change slowly and predictably, but here it was as if an invisible hand suddenly turned the field's direction. This event points to the existence of forces in the universe that are far more dynamic and unpredictable than we had imagined. For scientists, this observation raises two possibilities. Either there is a massive magnetic barrier at the edge of the solar system that we are unaware of, or an energy wave previously undiscovered in the intergalactic environment has affected Voyager 2. Regardless of which possibility is correct, this discovery implies that any spacecraft traveling through space will require special protection systems against magnetic waves. It also reveals that Earth and other planets are far more vulnerable to cosmic magnetic attacks than previously thought. This sudden change in direction is not only a scientific problem, but also a major technological one. Many critical systems, such as navigation, communication, and data transmission, rely on magnetic fields. If these fields can suddenly change direction, future space missions could face unexpected losses, errors, and data loss. In other words, Voyager 2 is not just a scientific observation, but also a major warning about humanity's dreams of interstellar travel. And perhaps the most surprising possibility, could this change in direction be the signature of another intelligent civilization or an unknown cosmic event? Voyager 2's observations suggest that space is not just empty space and matter, but filled with complex and perhaps intentionally created energy networks. This finding is proof that even at the farthest reaches of the universe, ordinary is an illusion. 6. An unknown type of radiation was detected in the data transmitted by the spacecraft. Voyager 2's data revealed a completely new type of radiation that had never been recorded by any telescope or spacecraft before. This radiation does not resemble classical gamma rays, X-rays, or any known cosmic rays. At first glance, this may seem like something that would only interest the scientific community. However, the reality is much more dramatic. if there is a new form of radiation in space, we will have to rewrite all of our astrophysics and space travel rules. The source of this unknown radiation remains a mystery. There are no star explosions or large black holes in the region where Voyager 2 passed through. This indicates that completely different and unknown physical processes are at work at the edge of space. If the source of this radiation is a phenomenon hidden in the depths of the intergalactic environment, there may be cosmic events occurring there that are much larger than we had imagined. Furthermore, this type of radiation could pose unforeseen risks to human health and technological infrastructure. Astronauts on space missions, satellites, or future crewed missions could be vulnerable to this new type of radiation. The energy type discovered by Voyager 2 could also signify a range of new risks on Earth, from cancer to electronic malfunctions. In conclusion, this discovery highlights how much humanity still has to learn about the universe. Voyager 2's observations have proven that the dangers, opportunities, and unknowns awaiting us at the edge of space are merely the tip of the iceberg. Now the entire scientific community is mobilized to unlock the mystery of this radiation. 7. Researchers have detected traces of an unknown external energy in the data. Some data from Voyager 2 has revealed the existence of an energy flow coming from the depths of space that does not match any known source. This energy does not appear to be coming from the Sun or the Milky Way. Some researchers are even discussing the possibility that this energy could have a completely independent, external source. If this is true, humanity may have discovered the existence of a new energy source beyond the natural forces of the universe. This discovery undermines the very foundations of all the models we have built so far about how the universe works. Because this energy coming from outside shows that there is active and continuous interaction even in the points of space we thought were empty. If space is not isolated and static as we thought, but is constantly shaped by external influences, we will have to rewrite all our cosmological theories. Moreover, this energy flow could be the source of unexpected and unexplained phenomena in space. For example, spacecraft traveling through interstellar space could unexpectedly accelerate, change direction, or become completely inoperable upon encountering this energy. In other words, this discovery is not merely a theoretical curiosity, but also of vital importance for the safety of any technology that will travel through space. NASA and the international scientific community have now mobilized all available resources to understand this mysterious energy signature in Voyager 2's data. Who knows? Perhaps this energy is a sign of an intelligent force or another dimension we have never encountered before in the universe. One thing is certain. Voyager 2 has ushered in a new era of understanding the unknown dynamics of space. 8. Voyager 2 recorded an unexpected increase in temperature in the intergalactic environment. Voyager 2 shocked the scientific world with the temperature data it recorded after crossing the boundaries of the solar system. This is because everyone expected the intergalactic environment, i.e., the space between stars, to be extremely cold, close to absolute zero. However, Voyager 2 suddenly reported a significant increase in temperature. This unexpected warming has raised the possibility of an unknown heat source in the depths of space. This suggests the existence of a new energy transfer mechanism in the universe that has never been observed before. Perhaps the intergalactic void is not as empty as we thought and is filled with unknown energy sources. If this heat increase is a regular and universal phenomenon, it could overturn everything we know about the thermal balance of the universe and the life cycles of stars and planets. In addition, this temperature increase poses a major challenge for the equipment of spacecraft, as most of them are designed for extremely cold conditions. However, being suddenly overheated in certain parts of space could cause electronic systems, batteries, and sensitive devices to malfunction. Voyager 2's observation highlights the need to re-evaluate all engineering calculations. Ultimately, this unexpected temperature increase recorded in the intergalactic environment dispels the myth that space is empty and dead. Space is a place teeming with energy and dynamism. Voyager 2 has proven that there are still thousands of surprises waiting to be discovered at the edges of the universe. 9. The spacecraft detected a very weak but regular series of signals. Is there a repeating message in space? Voyager 2 detected a signal beyond the solar system that is so weak it is almost indistinguishable from noise, but it repeats at regular intervals. The source of this signal is unknown and appears to be coming directly from the intergalactic environment. Unlike any cosmic signal recorded to date, it resembles a code or message. This raises the question, are we alone in space, to a whole new level? Scientists are investigating the possibility that such regular signals could originate from a natural source, such as a rotating neutron star. However, analyses so far have shown that the signal does not match a typical astrophysical source. If this signal indicates artificial origin, Voyager 2 may have discovered the first interstellar message in human history. This would mean we have obtained the first serious clue that other conscious beings exist in the universe. On the other hand, such weak signals could also indicate the existence of a new form of communication in space or a natural law that we have not yet understood. Perhaps there are energy changes in the intergalactic environment that we cannot yet detect, and Voyager 2 is the first human-made object to become aware of this phenomenon. If the meaning of this signal is deciphered, humanity could discover a completely new way to communicate in space. Ultimately, the weak and mysterious signal recorded by Voyager 2 shows that the secrets of space are much deeper and more complex than we imagined. This discovery represents not only a scientific revolution for humanity, but also a philosophical one. Finding a repeating message in space has brought the biggest questions of existence back to the forefront. 10. The data showed that subatomic particles accelerated unexpectedly. The data sent by Voyager 2 detected that subatomic particles in the boundary region reached speeds much higher than normal. This cannot be explained by any physical mechanism we know of. Such acceleration could only be possible with an enormous energy source or the influence of a force that has not yet been identified. The scientific community is struggling to understand what is happening here. If this acceleration is occurring spontaneously in the intergalactic environment, we will need to re-examine all our assumptions about the energy budget of the universe and the behavior of matter. This discovery may open new doors to the source of cosmic rays, the secrets of dark matter, or unknown energy fields. Voyager 2 has, in a sense, become part of an experiment in the laboratory of space that we know nothing about. Additionally, this phenomenon poses a significant challenge for humanity's future aspirations of interstellar travel. If such fast and unpredictable particles exist in space, both astronauts and the technological safety of spacecraft would be at great risk. Space engineers may now have to completely update their designs to account for these new risks. In the end, Voyager 2's discovery has made one thing clear. The universe is far more energetic, dangerous, and full of mysteries than we ever imagined. Every new piece of data serves as a reminder of how little we truly know, and that space is indeed the house of the unknown. 11. Voyager 2 recorded a phenomenon that could be a negative energy wave. Voyager 2's data detected an energy wave that was so low and strange that it could not exist in the universe under normal conditions. This is something that is considered almost impossible in classical physics and is usually left to science fiction. However, the measured energy values dropped below zero for a moment and moved in the opposite direction of normal energy waves. Scientists believed that such a phenomenon could only occur near black holes, in exotic matter regions, or in a laboratory. This negative energy wave began to challenge all known rules of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. If negative energy waves can form spontaneously in space, in the intergalactic environment, this could suddenly ground a range of speculative ideas, from time travel theories to wormholes in reality. Voyager 2 may have directly observed a phenomenon that humanity has only discussed theoretically until now. Scientists are now trying to determine whether the source of this wave is natural or the product of some kind of artificial or as yet ununderstood mechanism of the universe. If it is a natural process, it could open the door to revolutionary new discoveries about energy transfer and matter interactions in the universe. However, if another conscious entity or artificial energy manipulation is involved, what Voyager 2 has discovered could be one of the greatest turning points in human history. In any case, the negative energy detection has transformed Voyager 2 from just a spacecraft into a key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. No one knows whether this extraordinary energy anomaly, detected at the edge of space, will usher in a new era in physics. The only thing that is clear at this point is that every glance humanity casts into space brings more questions than answers. 12. The source of the dust particles found in the boundary region is unknown. Voyager 2 encountered strange and unexpected dust particles at the edge of the solar system. The most striking aspect of these particles is that they do not originate from Earth, the Sun, or even the known stars of the Milky Way. These dust particles are like visitors from space, leaving no trace behind and with an origin that remains unexplained. When scientists analyzed the chemical composition of these dust particles, they found that they did not match any local samples. Understanding the origin of these mysterious dust particles is critical to unlocking the fundamental secrets of the material cycle in space. This is because such materials could trigger star formation, influence planetary atmospheres, and even carry the seeds of life throughout the universe. If these dust particles originated from other galaxies or an as yet unobserved cosmic event, they could completely overturn humanity's assumption that we are alone in space. Moreover, these particles are so small that it is difficult to create similar ones even in the most sensitive laboratories on Earth. Chemical analyses have revealed that some of these dust particles contain known elements in unusual ratios, while others contain previously unobserved new isotopes. Voyager 2 is bringing back samples from the laboratory of space and seeking answers to the question, what is cooking in the kitchen of the universe? Above all, this discovery shows that there is a vast network of matter and energy in space that is invisible to the naked eye, but whose effects shape entire star systems. These dust particles may play a key role in the universal distribution of life. Voyager 2 did not merely make an ordinary discovery, it made us feel as though we were holding the key to the universe's secrets directly in our hands. 13. NASA believes that some of the spacecraft's data may have been edited. Anomalies that were impossible to interpret and appeared to have been manipulated by human hands were detected in some of the data streams sent by Voyager 2 to Earth. NASA's technical team initially thought this was a simple software or hardware error. However, some of the data packets had been altered in such a way that it was impossible to explain it as a classic error. It was as if someone had edited or encrypted the raw data the spacecraft was sending in real time. This possibility is both frightening and scientifically fascinating. Either there are technologies in the depths of space capable of interfering with Voyager 2, beyond humanity's imagination, or there is still an unresolved information transfer issue in the analysis on Earth. If the first possibility is correct, humanity may have made digital contact with an entity outside itself for the first time. The other possibility highlights the unexpected challenges of communicating in space. Such a claim of data manipulation sparked a wide-ranging debate, from conspiracy theories to scientific skepticism. In accordance with NASA's transparency policy, all this data has been made public, and scientists around the world have begun searching the code for meaningful clues. So far, no obvious message has been found in Voyager 2's data, but the question, is the source of this information truly pure, remains in people's minds. Ultimately, even this level of skepticism has pushed humanity to be more cautious, more advanced, and more skeptical. Voyager 2 is not only pushing the boundaries of physical limits, but also the boundaries of knowledge and perception. Every new piece of data raises the question, are we missing something? And clearly demonstrates how complex communication with space will be in the future. 14. Voyager 2 experienced a skip in signal delay during data transmission. Given the distance between Earth and Voyager 2, millisecond delays in data transmission are to be expected. However, at a specific moment, an unusual skip occurred in the signal. It was as if the spacecraft had momentarily jumped to a point outside of space, causing the data stream to cut off and then resume. This was an unprecedented event in the history of space communication. As scientists worked to determine the cause of the jump, the theories put forward were quite radical. Some suggested that the spacecraft had collided with an energy wall between galaxies, causing the signal to be interrupted. Others proposed that space-time had experienced a local curvature, allowing the signal to take a sort of shortcut. Both possibilities are significant enough to turn humanity's understanding of the universe upside down. The signal jump may technically mean data loss, but the amount of information lost is not insignificant. The few seconds of data lost by Voyager 2 may have occurred at the heart of the greatest mystery of space that humanity may never solve. The question, what happened at that moment, remains unanswered. Not only physicists, but everyone from astrophysicists to quantum theorists are racing to understand this phenomenon. After all, the fact that a spacecraft made a split-second jump shows that space is much more complex and multidimensional than we thought. Voyager 2 has become a laboratory, demonstrating how thin the veil between time and space really is. This small signal jump has brought humanity's biggest questions about the universe back to the table. 15. Unknown chemical compounds were detected outside the solar system. The data collected by Voyager 2 from beyond the boundary revealed the existence of completely new chemical compounds that have never been created in a laboratory on Earth. These compounds are so foreign that they do not fit into the periodic table, and some appear to be formed by the unusual combination of two known elements. The question, how is this possible, has echoed throughout the scientific community. The origin of these unknown chemicals is a complete mystery. No such formation has ever been observed either within the solar system or in the known intergalactic environment. This suggests either the existence of entirely new matter production processes in the universe or the influence of an astrophysical phenomenon that has never been discovered before. If these compounds are widespread in the universe, it strengthens the possibility that the emergence of life and evolution could have occurred through entirely different pathways. The discovery of such materials is revolutionary for both astrobiology and cosmochemistry. Perhaps life on other planets is formed from entirely different elements, far beyond the carbon-based structures we know. Voyager 2 did not just cross the boundary, it pushed the boundaries of chemistry as we know it. Another impact of this discovery is that it suggests there may not be a single, correct model of chemical evolution in the universe. Scientists now believe that every corner of space has its own chemical story to tell. Voyager 2 is pointing humanity toward a richness we could never have imagined, in pursuit of universal diversity and chemical wonders. 16. Could Voyager 2 have encountered an unidentifiable object despite being man-made? Some data recorded by Voyager 2 suggests that the spacecraft may have crossed paths with an unidentifiable object. This object is neither an asteroid, a comet, nor classic space debris. Moreover, very small deviations measured in the spacecraft's speed and direction suggest that a physical interaction took place. This could be the first direct contact between a human-made spacecraft and unknown intergalactic entities. While some scientists suggest that this object could be a natural space rock, certain regular anomalies in the data indicate that it may be more than just an ordinary object. For example, the object's effect on Voyager 2 goes beyond a simple collision. It is as if a short-lived energy field formed around the spacecraft. This has reignited discussions about extraterrestrial intelligence and galactic exploration myths. Of course, NASA and official circles are extremely cautious on this matter. All available data has been analyzed repeatedly in search of a scientific explanation. But the real issue here is that it pushes the boundaries of the concept of the unexplained. The object encountered by Voyager 2 reminds us once again how full of surprises the universe is. Finally, this event also challenges the idea of intergalactic loneliness. Perhaps the universe is much more dynamic, crowded and complex than we thought. Voyager 2's mysterious encounter has gone down in history as one of the most exciting moments in humanity's cosmic journey. 17. NASA analyzed the data from the spacecraft twice before releasing it to the public. The new and shocking data from Voyager 2 went through a meticulous secrecy and security process that NASA is not normally accustomed to. When the data first reached Earth, it was thoroughly examined twice by experts within the agency before being shared with the public. This practice raised questions about the authenticity of the data on one hand, and on the other, sparked speculation about whether there might be other undisclosed findings. NASA officials claimed that this was done purely out of scientific rigor. However, investigative journalists and independent scientists have complained about not being able to see the raw data. Claims that unusual findings and unexplained anomalies in some of the signals transmitted by the spacecraft were filtered in a manner suitable for public release have come to light. This has fueled debates about transparency in space research. The agency's cautious approach may stem from the possibility that the findings could be groundbreaking, even marking a new era for humanity. If that is the case, NASA is not only taking on a scientific responsibility, but also a social and even philosophical one. Such data could fundamentally alter humanity's place in space and its understanding of the universe. Along with these developments, the feeling of "what are they hiding?" among viewers has significantly increased the popularity and viewership of space exploration. People are now curious not only about the depths of space, but also about the decision-making mechanisms of institutions. As Voyager 2 brings the secrets of space to Earth, it also brings to light the challenges of accessing information and the role of the human factor. 18. Scientists discovered a cyclicity, repeating pattern, in the data. Some patterns in the data transmitted by Voyager 2, which initially appeared meaningless but were repetitive, caught the attention of scientists. In the distribution of energy and matter in space, which was assumed to be chaotic, fluctuations and cycles were detected at regular intervals. This type of cyclicality suggests the existence of an order in the universe that is not merely random. The source of these patterns has not yet been identified. While some suggest that they are the product of a natural physical process, the perfection of the order and the fact that it cannot be explained by chance have raised the possibility of intelligent design. If such regular repetitions exist at the edge of the universe, there may be a mathematical law or method of communication in space that we have never understood before. Cyclicity usually appears in astrophysics in the form of star explosions, galactic oscillations, or the effects of black holes. However, the patterns in question here do not correspond to any known cosmic events or stars. It's as if there is a cosmic clock operating in the background of the universe that no one understands. Voyager 2's observation is turning physics theories and the search for cosmic meaning upside down. Perhaps most striking is that this cyclicality could be a cosmic message from other civilizations or a call to humanity searching for meaning in space. In any case, this repeating pattern in Voyager 2's data has sparked entirely new discussions about the universe being not random, but much more planned and meaningful than we thought. 19. Voyager 2 recorded a completely silent region in space. Is absolute silence possible in space? At a certain point during its journey, Voyager 2 detected almost no waves, vibrations, or radiation. This is an unusual occurrence even in space. While it is commonly believed that space is silent, there is actually a constant low-level background radiation and energy traffic. However, Voyager 2 recorded a moment that could be described as cosmic silence. It was as if the sound of space suddenly faded away and no signals could reach us. This silence is not just an ordinary anomaly for scientists. It may indicate that some regions of space absorb or deflect all signals for unknown reasons. Perhaps this is a sign of a naturally occurring energy void in the intergalactic environment or an as yet unexplained physical mechanism. The experience of absolute silence in space could mean that completely different physical processes are at work there. Some even argue that it could be a kind of cosmic quarantine or conscious barrier. This silence also poses a major risk to communication and data transmission. The complete loss of a spacecraft's signal during space travel could have deadly consequences for both technology and astronauts. Voyager 2's observation serves as a reminder of the unknowns that future interstellar missions may encounter and just how variable space really is. Absolute silence may be a much more dangerous situation than we previously thought. What is happening in this silent region is still unknown. Did Voyager 2 record only a momentary phenomenon, or did it discover a new region of space that we have never noticed before? The scientific community is continuing its work to develop theories to explain such anomalies. But one thing is certain: in space, nothing is easy to explain. 20. It has been discovered that the magnetic field outside the solar system is much stronger than expected. When Voyager 2 crossed beyond the solar system, it detected that the magnetic field there was surprisingly strong and dynamic. This has completely overturned all cosmic magnetism models, because it was expected that the magnetic field would weaken as we moved away from the Sun and become nearly immeasurable in the intergalactic environment. However, the spacecraft revealed that even the intergalactic void is filled with powerful magnetic waves. This finding shows that the transfer of energy and matter in the universe is much more complex than previously thought. Intergalactic magnetic fields may play a vital role not only in the formation and evolution of the solar system, but also of all stars and planets. In fact, the presence of such strong magnetism in the intergalactic environment fundamentally affects the movement of cosmic rays and high-energy particles. Voyager 2's data has revealed that we need to rethink the entire energy balance in space. This discovery also has major engineering implications. Future interstellar spacecraft will encounter unexpected magnetic fields, increasing the risk of malfunctions in electronic devices. Additionally, navigation systems and remote control technologies will face serious challenges in this magnetic chaos. Voyager 2 actually shows that humanity has no guarantees in space. The scientific community is now analyzing the data sent by Voyager 2 to understand the source and nature of intergalactic magnetic fields. We now know that the notion of space being empty is completely wrong. Perhaps these magnetic networks serve as an invisible cosmic web that holds the deepest secrets of the universe. 21. The radio waves recorded by the spacecraft are unlike anything we have ever heard on Earth. The radio waves recorded by Voyager 2 after it crossed the boundaries of the solar system were completely different from any signals we have ever heard on Earth or near any other planet. The frequency, structure, and energy carried by these waves were so unusual that they could not be explained by classical radio astronomy. Many scientists believe that these signals may originate from an exotic physical process that is still unknown. These radio waves caused great astonishment, not only in terms of frequency, but also in terms of their information-carrying capacity and wavelength. In particular, certain repetitions were detected, as if there were a regular and artificial pattern in the background. Some theorists have suggested that these signals might have been intentionally sent by another civilization, potentially serving as a form of communication. Of course, there is no definitive proof yet, but scientific imagination knows no bounds. Additionally, these signals suggest that energy transfer and information communication in space may occur through methods vastly different from what we currently understand. Perhaps other civilizations or cosmic phenomena are utilizing radio waves in ways we have never before comprehended. The anomalies detected by Voyager 2 may merely be the beginning of the challenges and opportunities humanity will encounter in its quest for knowledge. All these discoveries have proven that communication and observation with the universe beyond Earth could be far more complex and exciting than we imagined. Has Voyager 2 opened a new cosmic communication gateway at the edge of space? This question seems likely to remain on the agenda for many years to come. 22. The hardware malfunctions experienced by Voyager 2 have presented scientists with new hypotheses. Voyager 2 experienced occasional strange hardware malfunctions as it traveled at the edge of the solar system. The spacecraft occasionally failed to respond to commands for short periods, sensors temporarily malfunctioned, or data streams unexpectedly ceased. None of these malfunctions could be explained by the classic electronic problems engineers had anticipated. It was as if the spacecraft was directly interacting with an unknown force in the depths of space. Scientists speculated that these malfunctions could be triggered by cosmic radiation, dense plasma clouds, or exotic energy fields. Some even considered the possibility of conscious external intervention. Regardless, the challenges faced by Voyager 2 demonstrated that human-made machines in space are far more vulnerable to unknown threats than previously imagined. These events also hold important lessons for the design of future space vehicles. In particular, the durability of equipment must be enhanced to withstand the cosmic unknown during interstellar travel. What happened to Voyager 2 clearly underscores the necessity of accounting for unplanned risks in space engineering. In conclusion, these hardware failures are not merely technical issues. They also serve as a warning about how unprepared humanity is for the unexpected surprises of the universe. As it continues to push the boundaries of exploration, Voyager 2 is sending a message. If you venture into the unknown unprepared, you will be lost. 23. A directionless radiation source was detected in the intergalactic environment. Data collected by Voyager 2 revealed a completely directionless radiation flow originating from the depths of space, which cannot be attributed to any traditional source. In other words, this radiation is not coming from a specific star, galaxy, or known cosmic event. It appears to be emanating equally from every corner of space. This suggests the presence of an energy source in space that has never been detected before. The directionless radiation could be a sign of a constant energy ocean that exists in the background of everything in the universe. Perhaps this energy is an unsolved cosmic legacy that has remained since the birth of the universe. Alternatively, it could be an unknown physical process or energy leaking from another dimension. Voyager 2's findings leave a big question mark about the origin of all energy and matter. Such radiation could have profound effects on the formation of stars, galaxies, and planets. This is because a constant and directionless flow of energy takes the dynamics that shape life and matter in space to a whole new level. Scientists are working intensively to develop new theories to explain this discovery. This data shows that space is much more active and complex than we thought. With this discovery, Voyager 2 has provided clues about an energy sea that still remains unsolved in the background of the universe and gives life to everything. This question will be one of the main topics of discussion in astrophysics in the coming decades. 24. Did the spacecraft unexpectedly gain acceleration? Small but inexplicable changes in Voyager 2's speed have baffled scientists. The fact that a spacecraft moving in space as if there were no external forces suddenly gains or loses acceleration defies the laws of physics. So, is there an invisible force at work in space, or is something happening inside the spacecraft? This phenomenon may point to the existence of unknown gravitational fields or microscopic clouds of matter in the intergalactic environment. Alternatively, it could be the result of a momentary disruption in the fabric of space-time or the effect of an energy wave. Such a change in acceleration has opened the door to numerous speculations in the scientific community, ranging from wormhole theories to dark matter. These changes suggest that Voyager 2 is not merely an observer, but an active element interacting with the universe. If these acceleration changes can be explained, the dynamics of interstellar travel will be completely rewritten. One day it may even be possible to harness these interactions to propel spacecraft to previously unimaginable speeds. In short, Voyager 2's unexpected acceleration proves that space is still filled with unknown and unpredictable forces. This discovery has shattered humanity's claim that we fully understand the universe. Now, new generation space missions are being planned to solve this mystery. In the meantime, liking and subscribing to my video is the most effective way to support me. 25. An unusual ion density was discovered in the data. Voyager 2 analyzed intergalactic plasma and found unexpectedly high concentrations of ions. Normally, such a high concentration of ions is not expected in such a low-density environment. This discovery suggests that chemical and physical processes previously unobserved in intergalactic space are at work. This density suggests that cosmic rays, high-energy particles, and possibly galactic gravitational fields are having effects different from what was previously anticipated. If this ion density can be consistently observed, all existing theories about the structure and evolution of the intergalactic medium will need to be revised. This is because the physics at play here is not simple enough to be tested in a laboratory. Additionally, this high ion density could pose risks to technological devices during space travel, while also presenting an opportunity for new energy sources. Understanding the origin and effects of these ions could open up new avenues for energy production and conservation in space. Voyager 2's discovery signifies new energy horizons and dangers for humanity. The most intriguing aspect of this discovery is that it proves the existence of an invisible movement in space. Thanks to Voyager 2, it has been understood that even in the void of space, matter is constantly changing, flowing, and forming new structures. Every new piece of data demonstrates that space is a living and dynamic arena. 26. Voyager 2 reported an unexpected deviation in the curvature of space-time. Voyager 2's precise measurements showed that the fabric of space-time suddenly bent in the intergalactic environment, causing forces on the spacecraft to change unexpectedly. This is a phenomenon predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity, but never observed on such a large scale. This momentary deviation in the space-time curve was measured as if some kind of invisible wave had come into contact with the spacecraft. This deviation suggests the presence of unknown energy or matter concentrations in certain regions of space. Several possible explanations are on the table, ranging from microscopic black holes to dark matter concentrations. In the scientific community, there is speculation that this deviation could be evidence of a new physical law or the hidden structure of the universe. Such a change in the fabric of space-time could have radical effects on the orbits of spacecraft, planets, and stars. Perhaps these invisible deviations lie behind the largest cosmic movements in the universe. Voyager 2's discovery reveals that space really does ripple like a four-dimensional sea. This observation will also be decisive in planning future space travel. For humanity, the concept of a safe route must be constantly rewritten due to the volatile and variable nature of space-time. Voyager 2 is giving humanity a real lesson in the unknown as it pursues the unknown in the depths of the universe. 27. The spacecraft detected forces in the intergalactic environment that cannot be explained by gravity. When Voyager 2 left the solar system, abnormal changes in the spacecraft's movement and speed were detected that could not be explained by gravity. Normally, in such a vast region of space, gravitational effects should be negligible. However, the spacecraft experienced brief accelerations or deviations as if it had entered the influence of an invisible force. This finding suggests that new force fields or unknown forms of energy are at work in the intergalactic environment beyond the realm of classical physics. Perhaps dark matter or another exotic form of energy is directly affecting Voyager 2. Such forces, referred to as the invisible hand of space, could fundamentally alter the laws governing the universe. For scientists, these anomalies suggest that space is not merely composed of matter and energy, but also of fundamental forces that remain unexplained. Perhaps there is a fourth or fifth fundamental force in the universe, and Voyager 2 has detected its first traces. This could lead to one of the greatest revolutions in astrophysics. Ultimately, Voyager 2's intergalactic journey is teaching humanity that the universe is far more complex, dynamic, and full of surprises than we ever imagined. Every new discovery pushes the boundaries of what we know. 28. Voyager 2's signal was completely lost for a short time. Was there an unknown obstacle? For a moment, Voyager 2 lost all contact with Earth. The signal went completely silent. The spacecraft seemed to disappear into space and then suddenly reappeared. This may seem like a routine technical glitch, but engineers found no faults in either the power source or the antenna systems. In other words, the spacecraft experienced a momentary communication blackout while it was fully operational. Possible causes include colliding with an unknown energy wall or invisible plasma cloud in space. Alternatively, a microscopic cosmic phenomenon capable of momentarily bending the fabric of space may have occurred in the spacecraft's path. When scientists examined the cosmic conditions around the spacecraft at the moment the signal disappeared, they found that no conventional explanation worked. The fate of the lost data and observations remains unknown. Perhaps humanity narrowly avoided one of the greatest mysteries of space at that very moment. Voyager 2's disconnection revealed how vulnerable communication technologies can be at the edge of space. This phenomenon shows that humanity needs to rethink its dreams of interstellar travel. Losing communication in the depths of space is not only a technical problem, but also an existential one. Voyager 2's signal shows us how difficult the journey to unlocking the secrets of space really is. 29. Voyager 2 recorded a meaningless movement in the intergalactic environment. Voyager 2's speed, direction, and position underwent completely unexpected changes at short intervals. These changes could not be explained by any known physical force in space. It was as if the spacecraft was being tossed around meaninglessly by an invisible wave or temporary force field. These events may indicate that the energy-matter interaction in space is much more complex and multi-layered than we had imagined. Scientists speculate that such anomalies could stem from cosmic microwaves, dark energy, or previously unobserved dimensional phenomena. These movements suggest that space is not the smooth, predictable environment described by classical mechanics. These meaningless movements on the spacecraft create new engineering risks and unforeseen situations. Each new measurement shows how vulnerable even a human-made spacecraft is when it encounters the true rules of space. The oddity experienced by Voyager 2 highlights the unknown factor that could affect all future interstellar missions. The scientific impact of this event is significant. If random and unpredictable movements can occur in the depths of space, the boundaries of all known models in the universe will need to be redefined. Voyager 2 has transcended its role as a self-propelled vehicle and has become the first human-made object to disappear into the unknown depths of the universe. 30. NASA is still unable to answer some fundamental questions as it interprets the data from Voyager 2. The data sent by Voyager 2 has given rise to some of the greatest mysteries humanity has ever encountered in space. Despite weeks of analysis, hundreds of pages of reports, and thousands of simulations, NASA's brightest scientists still cannot answer some fundamental questions. What is the source of these signals? Why did the spacecraft accelerate or change direction? What do the new types of energy detected at the boundary mean? These questions remain unanswered. These unexplained points are both a warning and a call for a new adventure for humanity. It seems that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, unlocking the secrets of the universe is far more challenging than we ever imagined. Voyager 2 is truly testing the boundaries of science. Every new answer raises two more questions. That's why NASA emphasizes that every statement it makes to the public is not final, but only an initial interpretation, because there is no certainty in science, especially when it comes to the unknowns of intergalactic space. Exploring space always requires accepting uncertainty and the unknown. Voyager 2's exploration journey continues to be humanity's first major test in space. All the mysteries and unanswered questions encountered so far are expanding not only the boundaries of science, but also those of imagination. And perhaps the most unanswered question of all is this: is the universe's secret meant to be solved, or is it meant to keep us wondering forever? In other words, the spacecraft experienced a momentary communication blackout while it was fully operational. Possible causes include colliding with an unknown energy wall or invisible plasma cloud in space. Alternatively, a microscopic cosmic phenomenon capable of momentarily bending the fabric of space may have occurred in the spacecraft's path. When scientists examined the cosmic conditions around the spacecraft at the moment the signal disappeared, they found that no conventional explanation worked. The fate of the lost data and observations remains unknown. Perhaps humanity narrowly avoided one of the greatest mysteries of space at that very moment. Voyager 2's disconnection revealed how vulnerable communication technologies can be at the edge of space. This phenomenon shows that humanity needs to rethink its dreams of interstellar travel. Losing communication in the depths of space is not only a technical problem, but also an existential one. Voyager 2's signal shows us how difficult the journey to unlocking the secrets of space really is. 29. Voyager 2 recorded a meaningless movement in the intergalactic environment. Voyager 2's speed, direction, and position underwent completely unexpected changes at short intervals. These changes could not be explained by any known physical force in space. It was as if the spacecraft was being tossed around meaninglessly by an invisible wave or temporary force field. These events may indicate that the energy-matter interaction in space is much more complex and multi-layered than we had imagined. Scientists speculate that such anomalies could stem from cosmic microwaves, dark energy, or previously unobserved dimensional phenomena. These movements suggest that space is not the smooth, predictable environment described by classical mechanics. These meaningless movements on the spacecraft create new engineering risks and unforeseen situations. Each new measurement shows how vulnerable even a human-made spacecraft is when it encounters the true rules of space. The oddity experienced by Voyager 2 highlights the unknown factor that could affect all future interstellar missions. The scientific impact of this event is significant. If random and unpredictable movements can occur in the depths of space, the boundaries of all known models in the universe will need to be redefined. Voyager 2 has transcended its role as a self-propelled vehicle and has become the first human-made object to disappear into the unknown depths of the universe. 30. NASA is still unable to answer some fundamental questions as it interprets the data from Voyager 2. The data sent by Voyager 2 has given rise to some of the greatest mysteries humanity has ever encountered in space. Despite weeks of analysis, hundreds of pages of reports, and thousands of simulations, NASA's brightest scientists still cannot answer some fundamental questions. What is the source of these signals? Why did the spacecraft accelerate or change direction? What do the new types of energy detected at the boundary mean? These questions remain unanswered. These unexplained points are both a warning and a call for a new adventure for humanity. It seems that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, unlocking the secrets of the universe is far more challenging than we ever imagined. Voyager 2 is truly testing the boundaries of science. Every new answer raises two more questions. That's why NASA emphasizes that every statement it makes to the public is not final, but only an initial interpretation, because there is no certainty in science, especially when it comes to the unknowns of intergalactic space. Exploring space always requires accepting uncertainty and the unknown. Voyager 2's exploration journey continues to be humanity's first major test in space. All the mysteries and unanswered questions encountered so far are expanding not only the boundaries of science, but also those of imagination. And perhaps the most unanswered question of all is this: is the universe's secret meant to be solved, or is it meant to keep us wondering forever?